Hello everyone and welcome to the last word tonight. A BJP MLC in Karnataka has made a derogatory, insulting and a communal remark against a senior IS officer. An FIR has been filed against Ravi Kumar for his controversial remarks. Remember, this is coming just few days after Supreme Court came down harshly and heavily against Madhya Pradesh Minister Vijay Shah. The court had also rejected his apology and had set up an SIT. Tomorrow is the day when the SIT will be submitting its report before the court. First, Col Sophiya Qureshi becoming a subject of hate speech. And now, Kalburgi Deputy Commissioner Fauzia Tarannum being subjected to hate. The question we ask on the show tonight, no matter how distinguished, how strong, how powerful a woman may be, why is she a fair game? First a story, then I bring in the guests.
At a recent protest in Kalburgi, BJP MLC N Ravi Kumar lashed out at the district administration, alleging bias against the opposition. But what drew outrage was his comment saying the deputy commissioner, a serving IAS officer, probably hails from Pakistan.
ಟಿಸಿಯಾಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದಾರೋ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ IAS ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿದಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರು ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೇನೋ ನಂಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ.
An FIR has now been registered against Ravi for these comments. Coming under fire, the legislator has claimed it was an emotional outburst and has apologized.
ने भी ऐसा बोल दिया, ऐसा नहीं बोलना था. भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक रेस्पॉन्सिबल सेंट्रल रूलिंग पार्टी होकर हमारे तरफ से ऐसा स्टेटमेंट आना ठीक नहीं है. मैं इसलिए मैं क्या इमोशनली बात किया हूँ उस पर मैं क्षमा मांगता हूँ.
The BJP, however, is accusing the Congress government of vendetta politics.
In a political speeches, many a times, leaders speak so many things. When they speak, one or two words here and there also will go. Is sometimes a person who utters the word, immediately if you take an excuse, so you have to leave it up. He is not told anything about atrocity words.
IAS officers association and lot of officers met me this morning. They are shocked. A very clean, integrity officer, a woman. This is the respect they are showing to a woman officers. The government will take action, and I seek an explanation from the BJP president of and the central ministers on this.
The deputy chief minister has now asked the BJP to introspect on their statements. Despite an apology that came in from the BJP MLC, the politics over the matter continues. But the larger question here is, what is going to be done about the political decorum that needs to be maintained? And more importantly, is there going to be an end to the kind of ill treatment that's meted out to the bureaucrats by politicians? With video journalist Kumar, this is Deepak Bopana for NDTV.
And joining me on the show tonight, Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin is the spokesperson of the BJP. We have Bhavya joining us representing the Congress. We have Priya Chetty Rajagopal, prominent citizen and also a managing partner at Multiversal Advisory. Rashmi Samant is an author and activist. We also have Brinda Adige joining us as well. Priya, I'm beginning with you. The woman that we are looking at, who has been subject to a hate speech, a communal, derogatory, insulting speech, is an accomplished woman. She is a senior IS officer. She is a deputy commissioner. And here is just another leader taking that liberty and making that comment. Why is it that men, particularly politicians, get away with what is evidently more than just an emotional outburst?
I have very little to say except express my disgust. Whether somebody apologizes or not is not material. I happen to know the officer in charge, and she is a wonderful woman, a wonderful officer, I've interacted with her when she was director of horticulture here, and she's a person with initiative, a lot of go-getting attitude, as a person who really looks not at just the job but creating impact. So for me, it was especially sad. I didn't know it was her that this comment was made about somebody, anybody at all, but particularly about this particular IS officer who I happen to know and is a very, very competent and extremely focused person. I'd like to get back on the fact that it is so. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Priya.
She's like the the speciousness of the argument. Let me just say there are three things that we are born with that we have no control over, but which end up making such a huge divide. One is the gender, the nationality, and your religion. These are three things that you don't have any control over. You don't have any choice. But it's what creates the divides that we really don't need. Let's look at the speciousness of the argument. I mean, today, because I am X, I am therefore Y. I look like this. My name is this. And today, with the kind of number of different uh, the intermarriages and everything. I mean, how can one even get into those kind of levels? The primacy of national and professional identity, and particularly an IS officer, first an Indian and a dedicated civil servant. Her religion is irrelevant. And the Article 311 of the Constitution clearly safeguards civil servants from this arbitrary vilification and their right to dignity while serving the nation. Then this is this issue of dismantling this ridiculous religion equals nationality fallacy. Stupid, specious logic. I don't know where it comes from, but I was particularly appalled when it was used in the case of Col Sophiya Qureshi, where she stood tall, dignified, standing for her country and standing for the military. How could this have happened? I mean, how could somebody even make a statement? Whether it was impulsiveness, stupidity, you can give any number of excuses that we say things in this. This is not acceptable. This kind of thing, I think, this kind of stereotypes also violate, the Article 14 and 16 of the Constitution, which is guaranteeing equality and non-discrimination. And I don't have to go into the number of wonderful people from the Muslim community who have just made our country shine, our state shine. I think that the IS Officers Association standing up for this is very, very good. And, I think they should in fact demand immediate attention under the IPC section 153A or 499. And political immunity cannot shield hate speech. The Legislative Council Ethics Committee must initiate disciplinary proceedings. Sorry is just not enough, because you're setting a precedent for accountability. And once this happens, I think it will set a clear precedent for other people not to do this. And there should be severe action, because you've got to make an example. You really do. And as I said, I happen to know Fauzia, and I really feel so sad this has happened. And this has also been a systematic pattern of targeting minorities, whether, you look at Colonel Qureshi's, Muslim identity being used as a weaponized to question her loyalty during the tensions. I mean, we get a situation where we're reducing a minority or a set of people to perpetual outsiders.
Absolutely. And I agree with you, Priya. You have made some very, very valid points, and perhaps, on this all women's panel, we are expecting more such direction to come as to how, there has to be a more collective effort to what has been some kind of normalization of hate speeches which are being made against women, no matter where they are, in what position or authority they are. Before I bring in the politicians, I want to understand from you, Brinda Adige, as well. I'm looking at what and how dignified IS officer Fauzia Tarannum has been in her comment. She says, I would rather let my work speak for itself. Let me focus on getting things done. That's been the attitude of women whenever they have faced, questions or in general, when it is not about their work, but they become subject of their identity first. Gender, religious, caste, all these identities playing out.
Absolutely. And as a woman, the intersectionalities of caste, of gender, of religion, they are born much more deeper by women. Like you pointed out, the DC of Kalburgi.
Brinda, your audio. Brinda, there is a problem with your audio. Okay. Okay, there is a problem with the audio. We'll fix it. Rashmi, in the meanwhile, would you come in?
Well, Maria, I definitely feel like, today in the 21st century, we finally have women in services, women actually breaking stereotypical roles, and actually achieving breaking glass ceilings. And such comments are actually very disparaging. And it puts it puts the entire sort of leap and progress that we've made on the back foot. So I think it's not called for, and that people need to be more sensitive and more aware of the sort of comments that they make about actually very upstanding and high achieving women, who are actually breaking stereotypes, who are breaking social norms, and setting up an example for generations to come.
So, Brinda, continue, please.
Yeah. So, like you were mentioning, Maria, the gender intersectionalities, religion, language, and that you're a woman. There is no, the politicians often find women as easy targets. It's not fair game. They assume that they are easy targets and they will not get back, nothing can happen to them. And being public servants, we must understand politicians rule the roost. They can transfer her tomorrow. And even though his party is not the ruling party, he has enough pull and clout to ensure that. And that is why I think people in the services do not want to talk back or retort back or ask questions, but because they are public servants, it becomes our responsibility, and more than that, the responsibility of the party to ensure that this kind of behavior is not accepted. They've continued to accept this kind of behavior. He might apologize now, but his mindset is the same. He's going to do the same thing day after tomorrow somewhere else, because for him, it is spreading that hatred without consequences, and so that impunity continues. There is nothing at stake for him. Nothing. It is 2 days down the line, nothing has happened. His party leader has not come out and condemned this man. He comes and says sorry because his party leaders would have pulled him up. But why are these people continuing to be there? How can they call themselves as representatives of the people in mother of democracies? How is it that they behave in such irresponsible, obnoxious manner when they are being voted into power by the people? It is because no consequences. And that, if a common man had done it or a common woman had said this, would there not be an FIR registered on that person immediately?
So, only recently the Madras High Court drew a line where they said very clearly that any kind of, statement being made by a politician against a woman will be seen as hate speech. So, keeping that in mind, there has to be much more than just an FIR against this MLC. But what about action being taken from the party? Dr. Gowda, will the BJP take any action against him?
And first, I would like to make one comment that I'm also being a bureaucrat. I'm a former bureaucrat. I know that bureaucrats should maintain utmost neutrality, utmost political anonymity, and all. The civil services conduct rule says that bureaucrats should be away from the politicians. Then they do not show any political affiliation or inclination. But what's happening in the today's world? And what has happened in Kalburgi district, I'm sorry to say, both the district administration and also the police administration have listened to the diktats of Mr. Priyanka Kharge. This is highly condemnable. And I was also there, this particular MLC who has made the remarks about this female DC, I was also there in this function. And he was referring to Mr. Priyanka Kharge. What has Priyanka Kharge done after he has held Mr. Chalwadi Narayana Swamy? He is not a common person. He is the leader of opposition in Vidhana Parishad. For more than 6 hours, both DC and SP didn't do anything about it. They have just paid the silent lip service. They didn't do anything. The role assigned to them
on the conduct
extremely
of
listen to
a
this
IS officer
person,
here.
Mr. Priyanka
My
Kharge.
limited point is, if there are issues in her neutrality, should that be subjected to this kind of public humiliation?
No, I also strictly condemn the remarks he has made about it. But at this point of time, I would like to make one comment that these congressmen in Karnataka state are really obdurate and they callous that they have made such a bad remarks about our honorable Prime Minister. That too, when we are at the juncture post Operation Sindhu. They've suspected Operation Sindoor. They've compared our honorable Prime Minister to a poisonous snake. When the entire world is enchanting Modi ji's name, when the entire world is praising our diplomatic prowess, our army mighty, and more than everything, the most precisely legendary and visionary leadership of Mr. Modi, are they not ashamed of themselves? They speak against Operation Sindoor. They express their suspicions against the Operation
No, but why
Sindoor.
should a woman IS officer be caught in this crossfire between the BJP and the Congress and their views on Operation Sindoor? What does she have to do with it?
I wanted to make a context. See, in that context, he has expressed those remarks. Priyanka Kharge was comparing Mr. Modi to a poisonous snake. In retaliation to that, Mr. Chelvadi Narayanaswamy has compared himself to dog. As a result of which he was held in a captivity for more than 6 hours. For that, both SP and DC have listened to Mr. Priyanka Kharge. They didn't do any official duty they were supposed to do. They have shown their political inclination to the Congress dispensation. That is condemnable. As a result of which we had to have Kalburgi.
So you are, ma'am, essentially justifying the comments which have been made by N Ravi Kumar.
No, ma'am.
This is the only way you justify it.
For whatever the comments he has made, he will be punished, and he will be, if he is guilty, he'll be punished. I am saying the present DC hasn't shown the political neutrality. She has shown the inclination to Mr. Priyanka Kharge and also both SP and DC. That is what I am saying.
Okay, then in that case, it's all right for Fauzia Tarannum to be subjected to this kind of hate speech by a BJP MLC. That is the view of the party. Let's bring in Bhavya.
I'm not substantiating his remarks.
Ma'am, you just did that.
Even the DC is guilty. The is guilty.
So what has he said against the
Wow. Can I?
No, guilty.
Okay, Bhavya, please come in.
It's utterly disappointing that in a 6-member panel full of women, I expected all of us to unanimously condemn such a derogatory remark made by a man against a very competitive woman, a high achiever. Her mistake, according to you people, belonging to a religion. Because we have 2 points, 2 commonalities we need to understand. The MP minister belonged to BJP. This particular man, the MLC, belonged to BJP. And the 2 women, both of them officers, one in Indian Army, a colonel level army officer, and an IAS officer. Very competitive women. The common thing was they both belong to Muslim community. Lakshmi Ashwin, I'll tell you what.
The Congress party.
The problem with the party is your ministers, your MLAs, your MLCs are competing in creating this communal hate. They're competing in it because you as a party did not take any action against the BJP minister who called Col Sophiya Qureshi as the sister of Pakistan. What did you do? I think this is the culture of BJP. Anyone who abuses women are rewarded and never punished. We have seen that in Unnao. A rapist was a BJP MLA until Supreme Court had to come, intervene and ask this BJP to throw him out of the party. Until then, you were okay with a rapist sitting as an MLA. This can't be worse than that, of course. Right? But to call women officers as Pakistanis, you really think it is acceptable and you are saying the DC was guilty? If she is guilty, there are ways to deal with it. Not call her a Pakistani in front of thousands of people. What are you even saying? How dare you say that on a national television? That she was guilty, so she will be called a Pakistani? You're not supposed to say that as a national party spokesperson. I think it was your job to set things right in your own party by apologizing on a national channel instead of blaming a competitive officer only because she belonged to a community, a religion.
You know,
This is
this
not
kind of...
acceptable. Trust me, today it's her. Next, it will be one of the 6 of us here.
It can be
including
anyone,
you.
Dr.
If we
Gowda.
let these men get away with
ma'am,
this,
since you
it
also
might be
said...
one of us here, sitting here,
Dr.
among
Gowda,
the 6 of us.
Bhavya, one moment.
Maybe we all belong to whatever community we are, Hindus or
Bhavya,
whatever.
one moment now,
that
please.
doesn't mean we will be spared. Now it is Muslim women. Next it will be Hindu women. Maybe someone belonging to your own party. Don't let these men get away with this.
Dr.
At
Gowda,
least condemn
since
on
you
a national
are
television.
a former IAS
It's
officer
important.
yourself, you certainly would understand that this is not to do with neutrality alone. The fact that a leader thinks that he can get away by doing some kind of religious profiling here, also an indication of a mindset.
They're competing with each other.
So I think the larger question here should be asked that he could say such a thing only because she was a woman and a Muslim. What about the other officers? No such statement have come against any of them. And if he was so mightily upset with her conduct, then he should have filed a complaint.
Exactly.
That there is a process that could have been followed, rather than humiliating her, indulging in this kind of phobia in public.
These Congress leaders are so pathetic that they are unnecessarily making this issue so much communal and regional.
Unnecessarily?
The MSC
That will make this is not acceptable. Not as a woman.
Absolutely,
You should not be saying this.
One moment,
Condemn this
finish her point.
unanimously.
Let her
This is
finish her
national
point.
television.
Why are you condoning?
A poisonous snake. Look at their morality.
You're making a big issue out of it. You think you can get away by calling an officer as a Pakistani? You think
It is a
not
big issue. You call an officer, you are an elected representative, you call an officer Pakistani, and you're saying don't make a big issue of it?
I can't believe
How
this.
can you be so derogatory?
Can I talk now?
What about parliamentary language that you have taken a vow and an oath to uphold?
Ma'am, let her speak, please. Let her speak, Dr. Gowda.
DC belongs to a
Go ahead.
Muslim community. Do you know that? This MLC didn't even know. I talked to him personally. He has told me that this officer seemed to be a very much good officer and an efficient officer. And I know personally. The thing here is, it's not about the religion. It's about their conduct. Being an officer, being an IS officer.
So what was the conduct which made him call her a Pakistani?
To the Congress government.
What was the whole point of bringing Pakistan in Gulbarga?
Partisan behavior.
Gulbarga administration, what has Pakistan got to do with Gulbarga's
I am not
administration?
substantiating MLC's remarks. For that, SIT has been formed. It will take
All
its
I'm
due
saying
course
is,
of action.
what has
Due course of
Pakistan got
action.
to do
Can you
with
shut your
Gulbarga's
mouth? Can you listen to
administration?
me?
Please,
It's only
Bhavya.
the religion.
Bhavya.
Listen to me. And you
I
guys,
think we
you
can
pathetic
extend
people
that
call our
courtesy to
honorable
another
Prime
woman on the
Minister
show
poisonous snake.
when she is
That
speaking.
too when we are at the junction of Operation Sindoor. You guys are so pathetic. Your mental condition is so low. You guys having moral turpitude. You listen to me. You guys are so
You're
pathetic.
talking about moral turpitude.
I'm not here to substantiate Mr. MLC's remarks. I'm here to say what has happened. These are all the facts I'm putting forth. You guys you Congress leader call our honorable Prime Minister poisonous snake. Are you not ashamed of yourself? And the entire world is prizing Operation
So you're
Sindoor.
justifying calling this officer as a Pakistani?
Our legendary and visionary leadership of Mr. Modi. You
But we have seen.
pathetic Congress leaders, you
We have-
callous, you obdurate Congress leaders calling.
Okay, I think I'll
Can
go
I
back
respond?
to Priya now.
Shame on you.
Priya
I'm not
Rajgopal.
here to substantiate
Of course, this
your
is
May I
becoming...
please come in, Maria?
I expected
Okay.
Maria, can I please
Okay,
come
Brinda,
in?
30 seconds and then I'll go to
We
Priya.
don't have any issues that we are not supporting him. If at all if he is guilty, he'll be punishable. SIT has been formed. Yours government is there. But the leaders in Congress dispensation have chosen to speak Mr. Modi a poisonous snake, and the entire world is admiring.
Okay.
You want me to talk about what Modi has called her?
May I please?
He called Sonia Gandhi as
Yes,
just
let's have Brinda and
Where
Priya on
will you
screen now, please.
Yes, may I please share my views,
Priya
please?
only on screen now. Yes, go ahead, Brinda.
Yeah, madam, two wrongs do not make a right. You cannot argue that a tit for tat is what is correct. It does not justify it. What we are discussing just now is a officer, a sitting serving officer being vilified hatred being spread, names being called by an elected representative who is representing an entire constituency over there and has promised to uphold parliamentary language. Dignity and respect comes from there. There is no charity that he's giving to anybody. It is his duty to speak with respect. If he was upset or angry with her or he felt he has been shortchanged, he must follow the rule of the law. Register a complaint, follow the process, and wait for it to come to court. He cannot speak like this as if he's entitled to call her names simply because she's a Muslim. That is unacceptable. He would not have done this to another officer of another religion, or for that matter, even if that officer was a man. So this kind of shaming women, insulting and humiliating is unacceptable.
Anybody whose conduct you don't like and that person happens to be from the minority community, very easy comment is go to Pakistan. Priya?
Yes, I think the comment would have been completely outrageous whether it had been made to a woman or a man. I think the gender is not really an issue here. It's an additional issue because we feel it, and all of us feel it much more. I'm actually appalled by the fact that we've again politicized something which I think needed to be just addressed straight on as an issue which was wrong, which was inappropriate, unconstitutional, and needed to be addressed. These kind of attacks erode trust in our institutions and they really demoralize civil servants. You can see somebody like a Fauzia who's extremely dignified and very quiet in the way she's handling this. And I think that's the right thing. We should allow them to operate without fear of identity-based hostility like this. And politicizing the officer's identity is a worry for me because she could turn again into a pawn in partisan battles, which further affects public perception. At the end of it, she will come across as a victim, which I don't think she is at all. There is a role of judiciary and media at this point, Maria, which is there's intervention where I think we should propose that the Supreme Court take suo motu cognizance to curb these kind of hate speech against anybody. And in this case, public servants, which we reinforce constitutional morality. Media has a role, in terms of reporting, as you said, very factually, and making sure it doesn't become a political thing of he said, I said, which is so nauseous to hear. The long-term structural reforms, the moral code of conduct to penalize hate speech by politicians is needed during and beyond elections. The mandatory sensitivity training for lawmakers on constitutional values and diversity is long pending. It is not being done with the penalty clause that it's needed to do. A bipartisan resolution in Parliament condemning these kind of attacks on civil servant and armed service personnel, because this is what has happened most recently, and it's very, very condemnable. I mean, the one with Colonel Qureshi just brought me to such on my knees with shame, saying, is that how you look at somebody who's standing proudly on behalf of a country? And the solidarity which is needed from senior bureaucrats, military leaders, and cross-party leaders to isolate such perpetrators and reassure minority officers is required. And thankfully, it's already happening. We should have, and we have an independent body to address grievances, but we should be giving it teeth. Now, this person can't just get away with saying, I'm sorry, because not only did he make a statement, but the crowd applauded. Imagine a person who's served their community as a district commissioner, no less, being isolated in something like this. In conclusion, I would say that our strength has been always in our pluralism, in our institutional integrity. By demeaning public servants or anybody else based on religion, it's not just an insult to us as individuals. It's also an insult
to the steel frame of India that we have celebrated for so many years. The steel frame of India has been ashamed by this comment which has been made against Fauzia Tarannum. Thank you so much for joining us. All the ladies here on NDTV's Last Word. With that, it's a wrap from me.